हेलो चिल्ड्रन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। कैसे हैं आप सब? होप आप सब अच्छे होंगे। सो टुडे वी आर गोना स्टार्ट विद द चैप्टर अ लेटर टू गॉड, which is the first chapter of the book First Flight and is written by the author G.L. Fuentes. So first of all, we would be starting with a summary of the chapter. Lencho is a farmer who spends a sorrowful night after his cornfields get ruined by the hailstorm. When he sees no way, the last ray of hope comes to him by none else but God. So the upcoming Sunday, he sits back and writes a letter to God asking for 100 pesos as a help. After the postman's employee and the postman find the letter, they initially laugh it off as they find it hilarious, but soon enough the postman, who admires Lencho's strong faith, decides to do something to not shake Lencho's faith in God. So we are different means he starts saving some money by saving it off his own salary, asking the post office employees for some, and also from some of his friends. And at last, although he couldn't collect all the 100 pesos, he was able to collect more than half of them. So he put them together in an envelope and signed it with the single word God. After Lancho found the envelope, he wasn't a bit surprised, but actually gets angry after he counts the money. After which he then proceeds to write another letter that the postman went to receive, which basically said that the money God sent, only 70 pesos, reached him along with a request to send the remaining of it as he needs them, and not to send it via mail as the post office employees were a bunch of crooks, in his words. This is the complete summary of the story, A Letter to God. And after this, let's take a look at the word meaning of this chapter. And though there are not much of them, we would take a look at the ones that probably need to be fleshed out. First of all, we have the word locust, which is basically a flying insect that moves in groups and eats and destroys large quantities of plants. With context, this word is used by Lancho after his crop is destroyed by the locust because of the hailstorm, and he states that even a plague of locust would have done less damage to his crops than the current damage done. Next, we have solitary, which means alone or lonely, which gets used in the story to describe the house. The word amiable, which is used to describe the postman in the story, which means friendly and pleasant. The next word is affixed, which loosely means to join or stick, and this word is used to describe Lancho sticking up the stamp to the envelope when he wrote his second letter. Next, we have crook, that means a liar of a criminal, very loosely, which is used in the story when at the very end we get to know that Lencho, in his second letter, accuses the post office employees for being crooks, for presumably stealing his money, which they actually did not do. So I don't think there exist more of the words that need an explanation. So let's move to the next part. That is the character sketches of important characters. We would be discussing the character sketches of our two important characters of the story that you probably can guess are Lanchos and the postman. Our character sketch, children, is written by possibly analyzing every information about a character that is given to us in the story, be it their appearance of their character traits. We need to analyze the existing events in a story to note down the character sketch. Read your story and see what it says about what character, what feelings does a character exhibit, which actions does a character partake in, and what does it have to say about them as a person. So while analyzing the character of Lancho, we first of all see him as a farmer and see how he, even after being affected by a problem, still searches for hope somewhere, even if it not visible. which clearly shows that he has an optimistic nature. He also exhibits an undeniable faith in God, which can be seen when he writes a letter to God, asking for help for himself and his family, which can be seen again in his personality when he receives the money, not showing the slightest surprise because of he was 100% sure that God would send him help. Other than that, we can also see him as a person who cares for his family and is very innocent and naive. He does not understand that he cannot actually and directly send the lotto to God and receive pesos. Also, he presumes things without a proper analyzation of a situation, which can be seen when he presumes the post office employees as the ones who steals his pesos that he believed were sent to him by God, which is pretty ironic in itself as a situation. And he does not realize how a letter would even be physically delivered to God and how possibly he received the pesos that he did. Next, let's look at the character of the postman. The postman is described as quote unquote a fat, amiable fellow in the story. He bursts out laughing when he first comes to know that someone wrote a letter to God. But just after that gets serious and thinks to himself that he should do something to let this strong faith remain unshaken, highlighting his very generous nature and his desires to help others and think about others. He also exhibits an adoration towards the strong faith Lancho exhibits in God. He also goes out of his way to collect pesos for Lancho by contributing from his own salary and asking some from other employees and some friends, which highlights his compassionate nature and he experienced contentment for committing a good deed after he sent Lancho the money. With what the story tells us about this character, this is possibly everything we can state about him as a character. So now, as we are done with the summary word, meaning and character sketches, do let me know if you need a detailed explanation of the story and a discussion of important questions in the next video. With this said, do mention your suggestions on what chapter or what poem we should cover next. And with that said, thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment and share this video to your friends. Thank you. See you in the next week. Bye bye.